Guys, this Kanimozhi incident from Chennai, where it's making news as per the reports, or at least as per Kanimozhi's her own statement. As some security officer in the local airport, Chennai, questioned her nationality because Kanimozhi said she doesn't speak Hindi. So it's making rounds and it's being debated, and it's on the Twitter, and it's everywhere, right? Now, some people are saying, "Oh, this lady's playing politics, and this is not true. She's lying." Look, guys, Kanimori incident has exposed something ugly and dangerous about independent India. All right, this is a very sensitive topic, and we are very sensitive. We don't want to talk about it. We keep ignoring it. But let's stop pretending like this doesn't exist. All right, this is a harsh reality. Whether she's telling the truth or not, who knows? Okay, but the fact of the matter is, it is true that Hindi enforcement takes place every day all over India in a way that is very disrespectful to the local culture. And this Hindi enforcement is bad, guys, and it is going to be the end of India, I'm telling you. This North Indian superiority mindset, um, it has done its damage. If you don't believe me, read about Bangladesh and how these arrogant Pakistani Punjabis or Punjabi politicians from Pakistan try to enforce Urdu on Bengali speaking Bangladesh, and rest is history. You know what happened, right? The local population retaliated, and one thing led to another. And before you knew, Bangladesh broke away and became an independent country. Pakistan lost it. It was called East Pakistan, if you remember. So we got to learn lessons from our own history, all right? India doesn't want to repeat that kind of mistake. That that kind of language superiority complex, or that kind of enforcing one language over another, is a very bad idea. It's time to recognize that we are a very diverse country with different cultures and ethnic backgrounds and different languages and different styles and music, right? And stop this nonsense of Hindi enforcement. I have personally experienced this nonsense at airports. Okay, uh, that's why I believe what Kanimori says. Even in small airports like in South India, right? It could be a small airport in Kerala, or it could be a small airport in Karnataka. All these security guys, starting from the front door all the way up to the security check, and all those guys are some guys from Hindi belt who can't speak a word of English. What kind of logic is this? What kind of madness is this? Right? It shows a total disrespect for the language. Because, as I said, if you go to the small towns or the small airports in the South India, majority of the passengers are localites. They speak local language, whether it's Malayalam or Kannada or Tamil or Telugu, right? There are no like the people from, there could be few Hindi speaking people, I'm not saying. But what's the point in having everybody? What's the point in having every security guy from this Hindi belt who can't speak a word of local language and who can't speak a word of English? And this local population is forced to deal with these guys in a broken Hindi. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So we need to talk about some of the propaganda thing aspects of this whole Hindi dominance. All right, one of the things this propaganda machine does is they repeat the lie saying that Hindi is a national language. That's why you gotta respect it, guys. It's a pure lie. It's a pure lie repeated over and over again. India doesn't have a national language. You don't have to trust me. Just Google it. Find out. India has official languages. Hindi is just another official language like any other language, any other regional language, like it could be Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Tamil, Marathi, right? But this Hindi propaganda machine has been repeating this lie for not just 1 or 2 years, for decades, saying that, oh, Hindi is a national language, so you got to learn this language, man. What a bunch of lies. Then they talk about how Hindi is like the most popular language in India and how it's widely used and how most of the people can understand this. Okay, excuse me. What do you think will happen if you promote a language for 70 years in every official channel? Doordarshan and the train stations and the bus stations and the bank branches and the schools and the airports. What do you think will happen? Sure, there will be more and more people who can understand that language. It doesn't have to be Hindi. If you try the same experiment with, let's say, tomorrow with Tamil or Kannada, and you promote in every single channel possible for 70 years, I'm sure there will be more people who understand Kannada 70 years from now. So there's no point in, like, it's that argument that there are more people speak. It doesn't hold water. Hindi is taught in schools all over India, right? Whether you like it or not, it's taught for a couple of years, right? Depending on which state you're from, and which is okay in my opinion, right? That nothing wrong with that. If you Because that way the kids from south get to learn a language that is very popular in the northern part of India. Now, my question is, how many kids, how many schools in North India or Hindi belt are taught a South Indian language to give them a flavor of what rest of India is, right? It's very important for us to teach our kids something about rest of India so they can get an understanding of, you know, other languages. They can get a feel, they can get a better perspective, they can expand their knowledge base. Is it happening? Why is it that it's only non-Hindi guys have to learn Hindi, but the Hindi belt is least curious about learning anything outside the Hindi? This is not the way to deal with rest of India, man. This is not a good idea. And then if you look at the politics, that's a whole different thing, right? I mean, that's a whole different chapter because, well, things are changing lately. That's a good sign. But if you look at the first 4, 5, or 6 decades of uh, post-independence India, central government, the Delhi politics was dominated by those people from Hindi belt. Sure, there are, like, 1 or 2 guys from South India here and there, but it was always dominated by those states, Delhi and surrounding areas. Think about it. Even today, imagine there's a politician who speaks only Hindi. He doesn't speak any other language. That politician can, in theory, can become the Prime Minister of India. Whereas imagine another politician who can speak maybe 10 different languages, very qualified, very popular, but let's say he doesn't speak Hindi. Do you think that guy will be picked up for uh, PM as a PM candidate? Hell no, it's not going to happen. So the Hindi qualification to either qualify or disqualify is just another that superior Delhi mindset undermining every other non-Hindi speaking states. And I call it, like, this is what I call, like, the Mughal or the Delhi mindset, right? Where Hindi means the entire India, or Delhi means entire India. Whatever happens in Delhi and surrounding are the only important things, whether it is the Delhi elections or Delhi University something or Delhi politics. If you look at the TV debates, it's always packed with the representatives from those areas and the regional politics or regional political parties or regional leaders. It doesn't matter. The Delhi politician or Hindi belt politician is always portrayed or projected as a kind of national level politician, whereas there could be equally popular or even more popular and more powerful politicians from South or some regional political areas, but they are completely ignored because just because they don't belong to that Hindi club. So guys, you understand where I'm coming from. This is not about dunking Hindi or dunking on Hindi speaking population, right? This is about mutual respect. This is about recognizing how India has different cultures, how India speaks different languages. When we promote one language so aggressively to a point where it becomes an insult, okay, you are basically questioning somebody's Indianness or nationality just because that person cannot speak in a language, then you're pushing it too far. And that's dangerous. All right. When you ignore, it's like, I don't want to learn your language, but you should learn my language. When I take that kind of approach, guess what? It's just a matter of time before you start pushing back and you start hitting back. All right. That's how it is. That's how life works. Let's not go down. Let's not push the limit because we love India. We want India to be strong, united, and it's possible only if we respect each other.